like to thank you all for coming to our annual legislative event.
This is an organization concerned with civil society, with religious freedom, with many of the things that all of us value. And this is an organization that lobbies in the halls of government in order to provide a voice for those people who have those values.
There's somebody who always enjoys a wonderful reputation out there in the business community as a man of his word, a man of integrity, and brings great honor to us all. Joe, come on up here and introduce Tish.
I'm honored to introduce my dear friend and a friend of our community, public advocate Letitia James.
Over the last few weeks, in our city and across our country, we have seen a proliferation of hate against the Jewish faith, and it has disturbed me greatly. Last weekend, I stood with nearly 1,000 New Yorkers of all races, of all religions, and all ethnicities to protest the defamation of a playground with swastikas.
I'd like to acknowledge the sponsors of today's luncheon. Mr. Joseph Richter from the Coney Island Payroll Services and Cash Checking Services. Thank you, Joe, very much for all that you do. David Matovich with Midwood Lumber. David, where are you? Are you here? David, yes? He deserves a round of applause whether he's here or not. That's the way I view it. Mr. Simon Gans, Mr. Zurak Abiaf, thank you all for being here. And even if you're not here, thank you for sponsoring this luncheon, making it possible. Because really this kind of gathering could only be done through the generous sponsorship of people like you.
Good morning. As co-chairman of today's luncheon, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our outstanding public servant and good friend to our community. New York City Comptroller Scott M. Stringer.
We've got to keep our boat afloat. We've got to work together. We've got to build coalitions, not just Democratic coalitions, but Republican coalitions. We have to play chess, not checkers, when it comes to figuring out where the city dollars are going and how we can create the next opportunity to enhance the quality of life and secure our position in the city. We've got the best NYPD. We have the best strategists. We now have to come up with a plan. I believe that forums like this are how we build our city. So I want to thank Agudath, and I look forward to working with all of you. Have a wonderful holiday season if I don't see you, and God bless all of you. Thank you very much.
Peter Rebenwurzel is the chairman of the Raoul Wallenberg Celebration Commission, and Peter understood the great work that this righteous Gentile performed during the era of the Holocaust, and stepped forward together with Ezra Friedlander and others to properly recognize this great man for what he did.
I've gotten to know our acting district attorney, Eric Gonzalez, and I must commend him for his extraordinary and exemplary leadership qualities.
I think there was concern after we lost our DA whether or not the community would continue to enjoy the safety and security that it's had, whether the DA's vision of fairness and justice would continue in Brooklyn. So I'm here to commit myself to the community that Brooklyn will continue to be a place of safety and security. That will be my utmost priority.
I'd like to call upon a very unique person who is known to many of us or to all of us. He's been around and doing his work on behalf of the community for many years. Rabbi Abe Friedman.
Mr. Sweeney is a family man, a man that cares and is very beloved with his law enforcement colleagues and his peers. So please help me welcome Assistant Director in charge of the FBI.
Everything we do and how we succeed is based on partnerships. It's no different here, and it's the only way we're going to be able to confront some of these threats. So I wanted to thank you, especially this group, for your partnership and our community engagement side and your voice. The communities that we deal with are the voices that we are able to explain some of the threats to, and who are engaged and understand the importance of those threats and can help us meet those challenges going forward. So I just wanted to say thank you for having me here today.
But I have to acknowledge George Helmy, State Director for Senator Cory Booker, sitting quietly in the back since 12 noon. Thank you for your participation, and we thank the Senator for his friendship.
We've assembled a very distinguished panel of experts. I've asked each of the participants to offer some opening remarks, really focusing in on what he believes the priorities on national security will be.
I think that we have to take care of Syria. What's happening now in Aleppo is a shame. It's really a shame, with civilians being bombed. The word out is not only is it the barrel bombs, which have been so terrible, it's now bunker busting bombs. Can you imagine that people are fleeing and going underground in the sewers and things like that, and the Syrian regime, with Russian and Iranian support, is trying to get civilians with bunker busting bombs.
And what we ought to be doing is asking a lot more questions about Israel, about how do they accomplish things? How do they get things done? They live on that knife's edge. Because, folks, it's here.
And we'd like to, of course, see the next administration continue that commitment to maximize Israel's security through the lens of Iron Dome.
No land for peace. What was it we got last time? We gave up land and we got missiles. So we need to be mindful of that.
Thank you very much to our distinguished panel. It's been very enlightening. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. And